Championship.
Welterweight Championship is at stake, and a man who, for so long, has called himself Moneyweight, the most valuable product of the welterweight division in his mind. Swaggy D. Dylan Bostic, a finalist in welterweight 1, and a man who beat Ace Perry in a street fight at welterweight 3. That's how Dylan earned this opportunity, and it's one of the many pitfalls that have been in Ace Perry's journey, where he attempts to get that championship back. Could you imagine the reactions, not just from Dylan Bostic, but from Ace Perry, if Dylan wins the welterweight championship tonight?
Well, I think it would be just more in a long line of frustration from Ace Perry, and I know we certainly would not hear the end of it if Dylan Bostic were to be victorious, and I think he would set Twitter ablaze as well.
Bostic very active on social media, hundreds of thousands of followers. I don't think any came tonight, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bostic Show. You people need to get up out of your seats and show me the respect that I deserve, because I'm Dylan freaking Bostic.
Again, never short on confidence is Dylan Bostic.
Tonight is a pretty big night for me, because I'm going to prove to each and every one of you that the welterweight division is mine. Tonight, I'm beating that little guy Nate Wins, and I'm taking the welterweight championship right off his waist and putting it around mine, because I'm Moneyweight Dylan Bostic.
Bostic feels like, much like Brett Havoc earlier, the welterweight championship is for the taking. The winner of this matchup meets Brett Havoc next month. Here comes the master of the welterweight division, Nate Wings, the reigning champion, the littlest welterweight but the biggest heart.
Certainly a man you cannot take lightly, is evident by that welterweight championship.
Nate Wings always brings an energy, always brings an excitement about him. There's no other athlete quite like Nate Wings. He innovates, he originates, and he often, if not always, keeps opponents guessing.
Well, that's going to be the key here for Bostic. Can he keep Nate Wings grounded? Can he not let Nate Wings get that momentum, get that engine going, and can he stay in control, not only physically in the match, but keep his emotions in check as well?
Introducing first is the challenger, currently on the Platinum World Tour, weighing in at 184 pounds, the Moneyweight Dylan Bostic. I'm Moneyweight, and all of you are poor. And his opponent from Dayton, Ohio, weighing in at 130 pounds, he is the welterweight champion, Nate Wings.
Well, Dylan Bostic has been a pro since the age of 15, trained in Louisville, Kentucky, Ohio Valley Wrestling for many years, multiple-time champion there. He's held titles on the East Coast, the Midwest, everywhere in between. But you heard it right there. Nate Wings is always ready, no matter the challenger, no matter the size difference. Even in a land of 185 pounds and under, Wings finds himself outsized by his adversaries regularly by at least 30 pounds. In this case, about 50 pounds.
Well, there may not be a man that has
Oh, look at Dylan trying to take a cheap shot.
Oh, smart move there by Nate Wings. Always have eyes in the back of your head, especially when you're the champion. There may not be a guy that gives the size advantage to Nate Wings, but there may also not be anybody, any of the welterweights, no matter what size you are, that has the heart that Nate Wings has as well. And I think Dylan Bostic knows that.
Dylan taking umbrage with our ringside fans.
I believe they were Nate Wing supporters. I don't think they were.
Well, there's no Bostic fans here except for the guy in the ring.
Well, as Bostic would tell you, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of yourself. Certainly, Dylan Bostic embodies that.
Yeah, Bostic ordered himself. And getting under the skin of Nate Wings in the early going is Swaggy D.
Well, that's a smart move. If you want to get under somebody's skin, throw them off their game a little bit. Dylan Bostic is definitely the guy to do that.
Now, what about the way Bostic beat Ace Perry in that street fight? Perry had a thick wooden door wedged between the ring and the guardrail, bridged almost. Perry went to dive onto Bostic and wipe Bostic out once and for all. Bostic moved, Perry crashed and burned. And Bostic was able to capitalize on the moment. Ace Perry, again, his temper and his emotion got the better of him. And Bostic came in, calculated, and took advantage. Nate Wings is not coming into this matchup like Ace Perry was. As Bostic, with a reach advantage, is able to connect with these jabs, where Wings is not able to, but Wings explodes.
Well, Bostic is doing the smart thing. They're sticking and moving. Sometimes having that reach advantage is a key against Nate Wings. You can stay at a striking distance, that can be a huge advantage.
Wings rolls through Quebrada. Bostic out of the way, but our stiff kick connects. And Wings down with the axe kick, nicely done. You don't expect a man Wings size to have a vertical leap, the dexterity, the agility. Wings can do so much, but Bostic not going to let Wings out another to the list.
You know, the baseball analogy is a five-tool player, a guy that can kind of do everything. And you see a lot of that with Nate Wings. And the one thing you might say is, as you mentioned, the size differential. But Nate Wings doesn't let that get to a disadvantage for him. He doesn't let that be an excuse as well, I might add. And
hell, Nate uses it as motivation as he's dropped throat or jaw first across the guardrail.
And what Bostic is trying to do, not only add some injury there, an insult as well, but also cut off the wind supply if he can, and that'll slow Nate Wings down. Bostic has to be mindful of the referee's count. You know, it's the old cliche in wrestling, but it is true. The champion doesn't have to win; he just has to not lose, or excuse me, not be pinned or submitted, I should say.
And Bostic breaks the count. All right, he breaks his hand. Dylan Bostic, a mistake that time.
Don't underestimate Nate Wings. He can strike with the best of them.
Wings set hard into the guardrail. Still on top now, cover. 2 count only. As you can see the look in the eyes of Dylan, focus, determination, but maybe a little bit of frustration as well, as that's really Nate Wings' one of his best strong points, because athletes never really notice, never really realize what Nate brings to the table until they're in the ring with him.
And you saw a little bit there from Bostic, very much like a boxer. We saw those quick jabs earlier. We also saw him covering up, trying to absorb some of the blows from Nate Wings. And now he's going to try and ground Nate Wings. It's what I mentioned earlier. Ground Nate Wings. Don't let him get that momentum. Don't let him get that speed. Don't let him use his quickness to his advantage. And you got a shot to win. And for Dylan Bostic, a shot to take home the Welterweight Championship, which I'm sure he would be ever so proud and would let, as I mentioned, Twitter know and the believers know and everybody that he could. Certainly all the people here.
Wings attempted to get back to his feet a moment ago, but notice Bostic leverage Wings down to the canvas. Wings is horizontal. It's going to take a lot of energy for Wings to attempt to battle up, and Bostic let loose early that time. I think Bostic could sense the momentum turn and was able to shift to a back suplex before Wings was able to hit and run again.
That's a smart move, a thinking man's wrestler. You know, if a guy's trying to be on the defensive and gain an offensive advantage, sometimes it's best to just change course, and that's exactly what we saw from Bostic. Bostic, definitely don't let that bravado fool you. Definitely game plans, definitely always has a strategy going in.
Joe McCoy watching Nate Wings closely. Wings with a chance now. Sunset flip coming up. And McCoy not counting the shoulders of Nate Wings to the canvas yet. Bostic back to that sleeper hold, relentless focus. he just folds Wings up underneath him.
Bostic is a general in that ring and knows all about positioning. So he's going to use every ounce that he has, every advantage he has at Nate Wings. He will maximize that in his quest for the Welterweight Championship. And Nate Wings might be busted open in that mouth. That's going to make it hard to breathe when you have a mouthful of blood.
I notice every time Wings attempts to mount the offensive, Bostic shuts him down.
Well, that's Bostic's MO. Bostic is not only going to jaw with you, but he's going to use that Anderson-type strategy of focusing on something and then just staying with it.
And Bostic elevates Wings. But Wings' amazing balance comes back with the Enziguri. Springs in. Amazing head scissors takedown. Nate Wings can switch directions and speeds at the drop of a hat. Bostic was not ready for it as much as he tried to prepare, and this is why Nate Wings is welterweight champion.
Nate Wings is starting with what I said. He's starting to feel it, starting to get going, certainly the people behind him. And that doesn't serve well for Bostic.
And Wings with a drop kick from the outside in. That's unique.
And it's what I mentioned earlier, innovative offense and also a striking game that if you underestimate, it's going to be a quick night. Certainly not saying that Bostic was doing that, but Bostic's certainly feeling the effects.
And the suicide dive sandwiches Bostic into the guardrail, the same rail that propped up the door that befell Ace Perry against Bostic on Welterweight 3 on pay-per-view.
And that's what Bostic was able to do, use someone's momentum and emotions against them. Now, for the most part, we've seen Nate Wings kind of be even keel, but we have seen that emotional side.
Welterweight 4 is live on Fight September 23rd. We gotta believe both these athletes will be a huge part of that card. 100% live in HD. Bostic the knee trembler. New champion now.
We hear the people. Certainly, between the two, I think we could both agree that Nate Wings is the favorite of, well, as you said, just about everybody except the other man in the ring, Dylan Bostic. And maybe that's all Dylan Bostic needs.
Suplex. Oh, Wings counters the inside cradle. Wings gonna get him. No. Swaggy D. That backcracker countered. Wings stacks him up. Bostic escapes. Clothesline. Wings underneath backslide. Who's gonna get the leverage here? Nobody. And Bostic with a backbreaker. Good grief. Wings' body looked like it was propelled out of a car. That'll do it. No.
And little things that Bostic does makes him unique. You saw him hook that leg there and get as much weight as he could across the shoulders of Nate Wings, forcing Nate Wings to use as much energy possible to kick out. It's little things like that that often make a difference between a win or a loss, and Bostic is a master.
Can Bostic find the final piece of that puzzle to ultimately put Nate Wings away? Could Bostic enter Welterweight 4 as defending welterweight champion on pay-per-view? Wings. Oh, Wings got caught. And Bostic into the Boston crowd. That sadistic look on the face of Bostic. You can see how deeply that hold is in, how tightly Bostic is cinched in, and the pressure on the lower back of Nate Wings.
We know he can take a lot, but he's got to get to that rope. Dylan Bostic has great positioning right now as we see the body of Nate Wings.
Bostic going up higher and pulling Wings to the center. It's almost like Bostic is going for more of a lion tamer compared to the walls of Jericho, to coin a phrase, as Wings is inching and crawling as best he can. Wings gets to the ropes. Bostic has to break. And you can see the frustration set in on the Justin Bieber of pro wrestling. The man that wants that championship as a social status symbol. Dylan gonna use the title, but here's Ace Perry. Ace Perry won't let Bostic cheat his way to the championship that Perry wore with pride. Look at Wings. Springs off the ropes, down with a neck breaker. Bostic never knew what was coming. Nate Wings retains the championship.
Here is your winner and still the welterweight champion, Nate Wings.
And Perry and Wings have had their issues over the welterweight title. Perry wants a shot. Wings is willing to give it to him. I'm not ready to sanction it yet, but look at Perry going to use Wings' championship as a weapon on Bostic to further their issues. Wings takes exception and Bostic goes downstairs. Cheap shot by Dylan Bostic. And Nate Wings wasn't happy about that.
What's wrong with you people?
Wings and Perry still have their moment to come.
But, Joe, we know the issues that those two have had, and that's obviously going to add to it. Ace Perry, once again, emotions maybe getting the better of him, and that's just going to cause more friction. And Joe, I got to say, I think in a way Nate Wings is to blame for that.
Whether he meant to or not, Ace Perry helped Nate Wings. He may have saved Nate Wings' welterweight title after months of claiming that Nate Wings doesn't deserve the title. This story continues to get deeper and more complicated. Perry has been there for Wings. Is it to help Wings? Is it to hurt Bostic or Gory? Is it to make his own claim to the welterweight championship? Either way, this relationship continues to complicate.